$10 for a 5,349-year-old alien ship. A human mechanic becomes Galactic Emperor. Jace, a human mechanic with a grease-stained jumpsuit and worn boots, wandered among rows of derelict starships. Most of them were scraps, abandoned for centuries, their engines dead and their hulls dented and corroded. But one ship stood out. It was enormous, taller than three of the station's docks stacked together, with an angular design that shimmered faintly under the flickering lights. Its surface was covered with alien symbols that shifted slightly, like they were alive. The auctioneer, a short, grizzled alien with three eyes, waved his hands and shouted, "Next item, a relic of no value, ancient ship, probably over 5,000 years old." Jace felt a shiver of excitement. He wasn't rich, far from it, but something about this ship called to him. Its sheer size and the faint hum from deep inside made his heart race. "Any offers?" the auctioneer barked. "I see none. How about 10 credits? 10 credits. That was less than the price of a new hyperwrench." Jace laughed under his breath. No one else seemed interested, and the alien shrugged. "Sold," Jace blinked. "Wait, me?" he asked. "Yes, you human, 10 credits, take it or leave it." He didn't leave it, not even for a second. The docking bay was enormous, and moving the ship was going to be a challenge. Jace had spent most of his life fixing engines, rerouting power, and patching up starliners, but nothing this big. He climbed inside, stepping carefully over metal beams and broken panels. The interior was dark and cold, but as he walked deeper, he noticed a faint glow coming from a panel in the center of the command deck. "Hello," Jace called, unsure if the ship was abandoned or alive. The glow pulsed. Then a voice, mechanical but oddly melodic, filled the room. "Intruder detected. Identity?" Jace froze. "I am Jace, a mechanic. I bought this ship." A pause, then "Mechanic accepted. System check required." Jace stared at the panel. The ship spoke, and it seemed to understand him. A thrill ran through him. He knelt beside a console and began inspecting the wiring. Sparks flew, and a smell of ozone filled the air. Jace worked for hours, connecting circuits and rerouting power, his mind racing with curiosity. The ship seemed to respond. Lights blinked in patterns, doors opened on their own, and strange holograms flickered to life. Finally, he reached the main engine core. It was enormous, humming faintly like a heartbeat. He connected the last power conduit, holding his breath. Nothing happened at first. Then the hum grew louder, deep and resonant, filling the entire interior. The console lit up with alien symbols, shifting into shapes Jace had never seen before. The voice returned. "Activation sequence complete. Core functional. Recognition, human. Status, approved." Jace laughed nervously. "Approved? I don't even know what that means." The ship seemed to sense his confusion. "Unknown species, curiosity noted, analysis ongoing, command access granted partially." Jace's eyes widened. Partially? Could this ship be intelligent? He spent the next few hours exploring the ship, finding rooms that seemed to have no purpose, strange devices and holographic displays that showed star systems Jace had never heard of. The ship was ancient, far older than any human records, and somehow it was alive. That night Jace slept in the pilot's chair, exhausted. When he woke, the ship was still humming gently, almost like it was alive and breathing. He began testing small systems, lights, doors, gravity generators. Slowly, he gained confidence. Then he tried something bigger, the navigation system. A map appeared, showing countless stars, planets, and even what looked like inhabited sectors. Jace's heart raced. This ship was not just a relic. It was a vessel that had traveled the galaxy for millennia. And now a human was in charge. "Where should we go?" he asked, unsure if the ship would answer. "Destination unknown. Suggestion: explore nearby sector for repairs and resources," the ship responded. Its voice was calm, almost patient, like it had waited centuries for someone capable. Jace nodded. "All right, let's see what you've got." Over the next few days, Jace repaired critical systems, relying on his human intuition. The ship had alien technology that was confusing at first, but he adapted quickly. Where alien engineers had relied on logic and precision, Jace relied on creativity and improvisation. He rewired energy conduits using parts from his toolkit, patched small cracks in the hull, and rerouted power to the engines in ways the ship's AI hadn't anticipated. The ship responded to these adaptations with fascination. Human problem-solving, unexpected. Efficiency, high. Curiosity, noted. One morning, while exploring the storage decks, Jace found ancient weapons and devices he didn't fully understand. Some were clearly defensive, others offensive. He hesitated. Could he really use these? He had only wanted a ship to fix and maybe sell one day. But the ship seemed to sense his hesitation. Potential threat detected in surrounding sectors. Suggest preparation for defense. Jace felt a thrill of fear and excitement. The galaxy was bigger than he imagined, and apparently someone or something wanted this ship. He spent hours learning more about the ship systems. Then, on impulse, he activated the main bridge. The room filled with light, and the console displayed a star cluster he had never seen before. Holographic figures appeared, representing alien species and civilizations long gone. Jace realized the ship had not only traveled across the galaxy, it had ruled it once. The thought was overwhelming. A human mechanic with no army, no wealth, no power, was now in control of a vessel that could dominate entire star systems. That night, Jace sat alone in the quiet of the command deck, staring at the flickering stars. The ship hummed softly like it was listening. "Why me?" Jace asked, almost to himself. Analysis complete. Human, unpredictable, creative, persistent. Qualities superior to long-dead civilizations. Compatibility high. Jace laughed, nervously shaking his head. "Great, I buy a ship for 10 credits and now it thinks I'm, what, some kind of commander." The ship's lights pulsed gently. Potential leader detected. Suggest continued operation and observation. Jace leaned back in the pilot's chair, thinking of the vast galaxy outside. He had no idea what dangers awaited him. He only knew one thing: his life had just changed forever. The next morning, the ship activated its engines fully for the first time. A deep hum filled the hangar and the ground trembled. Jace grinned, gripping the console. "Let's see what we can do," he said, eyes sparkling. And with that, the ship lifted off the station, leaving the dusty auction hall behind. The galaxy awaited, and Jace was ready, or as ready as any human could be, to face it. The galaxy beyond Vega Station 9 was nothing like Jace had imagined. Stars glimmered in every color, swirling in vast nebulae, and planets floated like jewels against the black canvas of space. The ship hummed softly beneath him, almost as if it shared his excitement. "Destination?" Jace asked, leaning over the console. "Nearby sector shows resources suitable for repair and upgrades," the ship replied. Its voice was calm but carried a sense of purpose. Jace nodded, still amazed that the ship spoke to him, not just in words but almost as a companion. For days, he explored the alien vessel, learning to operate its systems. Some were frighteningly advanced: energy shields, self-repairing hulls, and engines capable of faster-than-light travel. But the most fascinating was the AI itself. The ship seemed to test him constantly, posing problems and challenges to see how he would solve them. For Jace, this was fun, a puzzle like no other. As he entered the sector the ship had pointed out, Jace discovered a small, isolated planet with a struggling mining colony. Their ships were damaged, their energy supplies low, and a pirate gang had been raiding them for weeks. "They need help," Jace said, surprised at how quickly he felt empathy for the tiny settlement. "We can fix this." The ship hummed thoughtfully. "Engagement recommended. Probability of success, moderate. Risk, high." Jace grinned. Risk was his specialty. He guided the massive alien vessel into orbit, careful not to frighten the colonists. Then he used the ship's cloaking technology to scout the pirate fleet. Hidden in the shadows, he studied their movements. They were dangerous but predictable. With some human ingenuity and quick thinking, Jace began a plan. He reconfigured the ship's energy systems to emit a disruptive pulse, disabling the pirates' engines temporarily. Then, using holographic projectors, he created decoys that mimicked his ship's massive size in multiple locations at once. The pirates panicked, unsure where to attack. Jace used the chaos to land a small repair team on the planet, including automated drones from the ship that could fix mining equipment in hours. By the time the pirates realized what had happened, the colony's defenses were restored and their ships were repaired. Jace even managed to capture a few pirate vessels without firing a single shot. The colonists cheered as the massive ship hovered above them, its lights glowing softly. Jace, covered in grease and grime, waved awkwardly. Who are you?" asked one of the miners, a tall alien with pale blue skin. "Just a mechanic," Jace said, shrugging, "trying to fix things." The ship, sensing his modesty, added in its melodic voice, "Mechanic has saved colony. Human efficiency, remarkable." News of the ghost ship spread quickly across nearby systems. Alien merchants, warlords, and even government officials began sending scouts to investigate. They expected a weapon, a powerful warship under alien control. Instead, they found a human in a grease-stained jumpsuit, moving through the corridors and tinkering with alien technology. Jace, for the first time, realized that humans were underestimated across the galaxy. Aliens often relied on their rigid logic, their centuries-old strategies, and their sophisticated machines. But humans could improvise, adapt, and think unpredictably. That unpredictability gave him an edge no alien expected. Over the following weeks, Jace traveled with the ship, helping small colonies and settlements. Each encounter made him more confident, more skilled, and more respected. The ship seemed to evolve with him, unlocking new systems and capabilities as if testing him for even greater responsibilities. One evening, while navigating a dense asteroid belt, the ship detected an ancient distress signal. A fleet of alien vessels, long thought extinct, was trapped in the debris. The ships were massive, each carrying hundreds of crew members, but the belt was unstable. "Rescue possible," the ship stated. "High risk, probability of damage significant," Jace smiled. Risk was his playground. Using the ship's powerful gravity manipulators, he carefully shifted asteroids to create a path. His hands flew over the controls, rerouting energy to shields and engines, coordinating precise movements that even the AI acknowledged as clever. Slowly, the trapped ships were freed. The alien crews, bewildered, could only stare as the ghost ship, piloted by a single human, saved them. They offered gratitude, allegiance, and in some cases, entire fleets, all to a human who had spent years fixing engines on small cargo ships. Jace felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. "I'm just a mechanic," he said softly. "I don't even know how to lead fleets." The ship's voice was calm, almost amused. "Human leadership potential high, adaptability superior, observation ongoing." Jace chuckled nervously. Maybe this was more than he had bargained for. Then came the first real threat. A warlord from a nearby sector, hearing rumors of the ghost ship, decided to seize it for himself. His fleet was powerful, dozens of ships bristling with weapons. He expected an easy victory. After all, who could control a 5,000-year-old vessel? Jace didn't panic. He relied on what humans did best: creativity. Instead of engaging directly, he used the ship's cloaking technology and deployed holographic decoys to scatter the enemy fleet. He sent misleading signals, made sudden course changes, and used the ship's advanced navigation to lead them into a dense nebula. The enemy ships, overconfident, followed blindly. Inside the nebula, the ships became disoriented. Jace took advantage, using the ship's energy manipulators to push small asteroids toward the fleet, forcing them into chaotic maneuvers. By the time they emerged, several of the warlord's ships were damaged, and the rest retreated in confusion. The ship's voice was almost proud. Human improvisation, highly effective. Enemy neutralized. Jace leaned back in the chair, sweat on his brow, and laughed. He couldn't believe it. A human mechanic had outsmarted a seasoned alien warlord. With every success, word of Jace and the ghost ship spread. Colonies sent requests for help, alien governments began inviting him for alliances, and even traders whispered tales of the human who commanded a legendary vessel. Jace was becoming a symbol, a proof that humans could do the impossible. But Jace remained humble. He never sought power for himself. He fixed ships, saved colonies, and adapted alien technology in ways no one else could. That unpredictability was his strength, and the ship seemed to recognize it. Human decision-making, unconventional, efficiency, growing. Leadership potential, confirmed. The ship noted one night as they drifted near a gas giant. Jace stared at the stars, thinking about how far he had come in just a few weeks. From a dusty station auction to commanding a ship capable of incredible power, he had never imagined this life. And yet, he knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and opportunities. He tightened his grip on the controls, a grin spreading across his face. "All right, let's see who else needs fixing," he said. The ship's lights pulsed in agreement, ready to follow him wherever he chose. Together, they would explore the galaxy, challenge the powerful, and prove that a human mechanic could rise far beyond expectations. Word of the ghost ship, and its human pilot had spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Entire sectors whispered about a human who commanded a 5,000-year-old alien vessel. Some called him a hero, others saw him as a threat. Most underestimated him. Most were wrong. Jace sat in the ship's main command deck, staring at the stars. He had helped colonies, outsmarted pirates, and evaded alien warlords. But he knew the galaxy held far greater challenges. The biggest test was coming, and he had to be ready. "Ship," he said, "how strong are we really?" "Full power operational. Defense systems, maximum. Offensive systems, ready. Human strategy unknown by enemies. Advantage, high," the ship replied. Jace smiled. That unpredictability, the human edge, was his secret weapon. The threat arrived sooner than he expected. A coalition of alien warlords, governments, and mercenaries formed an alliance to seize the ghost ship. They brought fleets larger than any Jace had faced before. Hundreds of ships surrounded nearby star systems, demanding his surrender. Jace's first instinct was panic, but the ship's calm voice reminded him, human resilience, proven, probability of success, increased with ingenuity. He leaned over the controls. "All right, let's show them what humans can do." The first step was defense. Jace activated the ship's cloaking system and scattered decoys throughout the sector. Enemy sensors picked up dozens of massive vessels where there was only one. Jace used the AI's advanced targeting systems to map the coalition's fleet, identifying weak points in formation and predicting their maneuvers. He launched small energy drones that disabled key engines on the enemy ships without direct confrontation. Within hours, the coalition realized something was different about this human. He didn't fight like other leaders. They were cautious, careful, predictable. Jace was unpredictable, creative, and fast. Next, Jace struck at the coalition's supply lines. Using the ship's faster-than-light engines, he appeared in unexpected locations, rescuing trapped colonies, disabling weapons depots, and intercepting enemy fleets. Each success increased his reputation. Small alien settlements began sending emissaries, pledging loyalty to the human pilot. "Ship," Jace said one night as they traveled past a glowing nebula, "we're building an army without even trying." Human adaptability, unmatched, influence expanding. Leadership potential, confirmed, the ship replied. Jace realized that his rise wasn't through fear or force. It was through action, ingenuity, and humanity. He saved lives, helped civilizations, and proved that humans could be more than pawns in galactic politics. They could lead. The coalition, frustrated and humiliated, sent their strongest fleet for a final assault. Hundreds of capital ships surrounded a defenseless system where Jace had just rescued a colony. The warlords expected a quick victory, but Jace had anticipated this. He activated the ship's planetary shields, cloaked the colony, and used gravitational manipulator beams to push asteroids into strategic positions. The enemy fleet found themselves trapped, unsure which way to attack. Jace coordinated attacks with precision, using energy pulses to disable enemy weapons and engines. The coalition tried to regroup, but human unpredictability kept them off balance. Jace even improvised, using the ship's AI to simulate entire fleets that didn't exist, forcing the coalition to split their forces. By the time the battle ended, most of the coalition fleet was either destroyed or forced to retreat. Word spread quickly. A human mechanic had bested a galactic armada using only skill, strategy, and clever improvisation. After the battle, emissaries from dozens of star systems arrived to meet Jace. They bowed, not out of fear, but out of respect. He had proven that humans could lead with intelligence, compassion, and courage. One alien ambassador, a tall being with silver skin and 4 arms, approached him. "Human, you have changed the balance of power in this galaxy. We offer you leadership. Become the Galactic Emperor. Unite us all under your guidance." Jace's heart pounded. He had never imagined this. He was just a mechanic, but now the galaxy was asking him to lead. "Why me?" he asked quietly. The ship's lights pulsed. Human qualities, creativity, resilience, unpredictability, compassion. Leadership potential, unparalleled. Galaxy ready for human influence. Jace looked at the stars, thinking of the colonies he had saved, the fleets he had outsmarted, and the lives he had touched. He realized something important. Leadership wasn't about power, it was about responsibility, about using skills and knowledge to protect others, not dominate them. "I accept," Jace said finally, "not as a tyrant but as a protector." The galaxy celebrated. Colonies and civilizations that had once been isolated and vulnerable were now united under Jace's leadership. The ghost ship, once a tool of ancient alien empires, became a symbol of hope and ingenuity. Humans, long underestimated, were finally recognized as clever, capable, and courageous. Jace didn't stop exploring. He continued to travel, helping struggling worlds, mediating disputes, and proving that a human mind, combined with ancient alien technology, could achieve wonders no one thought possible. One evening, as he floated above a newly terraformed planet, the ship's voice spoke softly. "Human, you have exceeded expectations. The galaxy is safer and stronger because of your choices." Jace smiled, gripping the console. "We did it together." And in that moment, Jace realized that he had not only become Galactic Emperor, he had shown the galaxy the true power of humanity, intelligence, ingenuity, and the courage to do what others would not dare. The galaxy was vast, challenges remained. But with the ghost ship beneath him and human ingenuity guiding him, Jace knew that the future was limitless. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and for the first time, a human mechanic felt like the master of the galaxy,